Alright guys, welcome back to the Frugal Homestead, and today we're talking about the GoKwh solar Lifepo4 12 volt 100 amp hour battery. So we need to get off on the right foot here and put this in the box that it belongs. Now I set up my Jink little test system here because I have multiple budget lithium iron phosphate batteries to test. Okay? You don't need a lot to test these in a single form factor. So this simple 12 volt system with a 180 watt panel outside is all you really need to really get to use it, put it through its paces, see if it works. But when you're going out and you're pricing out, say, a Honda or a Toyota, you can't compare it with a Kia. It's not the same, guys. We're not even in the same league there. So trying to compare a budget battery, even a Bluetooth one like this, with, say, a high-end battery, you know, everything from Battleborn, SOK, all of them, EG4, you're not in the same league. So you shouldn't be trying to compare them. They're not on the same level. Now, with that said, the price point also speaks volumes to that. Because I have seen this battery on their website for about $319 when it's not on sale. And I've seen it as low as $256 from US Banggood. So there's multiple prices out there. I didn't even do a heavy search on the pricing of it because I will be talking directly with the company if this is the battery I decide to go with as far as building my system here in the tiny house. But I just think you need to understand that when you can get the batteries for like 2/3 or even half as much as these high-end brands, the trade-off is that you're not buying the quality, but maybe this is enough quality for what you're doing. Now, some things you need to know right off the bat, because there's videos from a year ago that show guys tearing these batteries down. Then there's videos from 4 months ago. If you have ever seen a company that addresses issues, then you know what's happening here, because the first videos, guys were complaining about the kind of foam they were using. They were complaining about the lugs not being tight underneath here. They've addressed all these issues. You can go back 4 months ago and look at all the videos, and they're going to show you they've got Loctite on them. They almost can't get them off now. They've got the high density foam in there now. The thermal cutoff protection is in there, but it's set rather aggressively. But if you're using these batteries indoors, you're not going to have that problem. The foam wasn't a problem as long as you weren't using it in mobile applications. But this company is making improvements every single time. They are sending these batteries out, letting creators tear them down. I'm not into all that. I don't need to, because you can go see 100 videos where they do that. It's simple to tear these down. You can literally pop the caps off and unscrew it. And they do use pouch cells. That's an important point to notice as well. Now, as I understand it, when I scanned in, it was a Jabata Bluetooth BMS. All right. And my understanding is everything wiring inside of there is 6 and 8 AUG as far as the wires to the lugs. In a 12 volt system, that probably is just enough. But I think that we all know that there's plenty of other companies doing that or smaller gauge wires. So I think it's a pretty good happy medium. Now, we've talked about price point. We've talked about the build. But the reality is using it, use case. So in my situation here, I want to at least hybrid my house. All right, this does not have its own electrical service here. I actually draw electrical service from an apartment at the top of the hill with the main house and the apartment are up there. So I just want this to use a little bit of power on some key components. And I want this off-grid system to take care of the rest. Now, obviously, I need to take the whole thing to 48 volt and other things, but we're just on a use what you got basis right now for this test bench and start trying out some of these budget batteries and see how it goes. Now, I've been running this for about 2 weeks on this setup. Now, the panel is very low quality, even though it's 180 watts. We are in summertime, so it has been recharging it throughout the day. I've been running everything from an air conditioner, pulling about 700 watts on energy saver mode to cool this house down all day long, and I had it cranked down too. So it pretty much ran most of the day without problem. The panel was able to keep up enough to keep the battery charged. I also used it when I was running my saw, cutting some trim, about 2 or 3 hours. The door was open, so it got up to about 75 to 80 degrees in here. I went and checked the battery before I started and then took heat samples throughout each thing I used it for, and it never came up in temperature at all. The lugs never got hot. Now, my favorite thing to do with it lately is use it to run the refrigerator down here. Now, running the refrigerator down here does not use very much power at all. It is a much smaller than normal refrigerator here in the tiny house, and this thing runs it like it's nothing. It's perfect for that. I just basically run an extension cord in there to run it for now. I can always do essential loads on a jump box in the future. Now, I gotta say, the Bluetooth is what blew my mind. Because every time something has Bluetooth, like even my GoKwh grid tie, it's got a dongle on it, and you can go Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on my grid tie up at the main house. I still have not got that stupid thing to work. It is absolutely horrible. This thing, I thought, oh man. I went in and I scanned the QR code, and there's a QR code for the BMS and a QR code to go get the app. I scanned that, but because it was already installed here and just messing with it, I got sick of it. I just went to the website, and they had a link that took you to the Play Store, and you put that in and download it. And I'm like, oh, here we go, because everything was in another language. Instantly it jumped on. It found the battery. All you had to do was hit connect after you created, your sign in, and it connected right up. And the information it gives you is great. It really does. It shows you how much longer based on what you got coming in till the battery is fully charged. It tells you temperatures. It tells you about how much wattage is coming in, how many amps are coming in, which is really nice because I don't know that I trust this very much. But a charge controller can give you a good idea, but you want to know what the battery's doing. And the best part of the app is flip down and you can see what the cells individually are doing. Now, do I think that this is a perfect representation of what they're doing? No. But I think it's better than not knowing what they're doing and guessing, which is what we have to do with a lot of these batteries. If I'm going to put batteries in this house, I better be getting a heck of a deal if I'm not getting Bluetooth, because I am now addicted to that Bluetooth app. Being able to actually get in there and look at what each cell's doing and getting that information, even if it's not perfect, is very vital to me, very important. And I see the value in it. Now, there is better batteries on the market, guys. But the reality is, with the way they're building these batteries now and their lifespan and expectancies, a lot of people are finding they're upgrading their systems before they get the full payout of the battery. And these batteries, I've seen systems where they've gone through 3 or 4 different individuals running them hard, and they're still out there running. I mean, lithium iron phosphate batteries are one of those things that, unless you really screw them up, they don't really die. Like this could be taken apart very easily if the BMS died, and you could put another BMS in it. Or you could take it apart, I guess, if you wanted to and try and mess with the cells. I wouldn't, but I'm just saying we're not in such a black and white era like the old days with the flooded lead acid batteries, to where once they're bad, they're toast. There's no saving them. There's a lot of room to find and identify problems and repair them. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that I am seriously considering using these for my system. And the reason why is it fits my needs. It's a company that's gone the extra mile to fix any concerns the community had. And they're also pretty easy to deal with on the overall thing. Now, I was given this battery just to test. I told them right up front that it was going to take 90 days to get the video because I was really busy. But also I wanted some time to test it. I didn't want to just get a bunch of shots of the sides of it, cut it open or pull it open, and then be done. I wanted to actually use it. And I told them if I didn't like it, I was going to tell everybody that it's junk. But it's actually the opposite. It has worked so well, I don't need to tear it down. I don't need to rip it apart. The reality is it's working flawlessly. And that's pretty much all you can ask for now. There's no signs of heat. There's no signs of degradation. I can check on the cells. They all are coming up about equally. Everything charges perfectly. Even under these terrible setup, it is doing an amazing job of running the loads that I want to test with it. Days it gets 90, 100 degrees out, I can go upstairs, plug in that air conditioner, and just let it run. And everything takes care of itself. And if I want to know what state of charge is and I'm not sitting right down here by it, I just flip my phone and check it out through the app. That honestly is a huge selling point for me. And it would be very hard for me to not go with a battery that has one. Yes, you can go get the shunt install ones and monitoring. And you can get monitoring for the Rich Solar charge controller. But I really enjoy it on the battery level. Now, you also can do multiple battery on the app all in one, and you'll just be able to click each battery to check each battery and the state they're in. I think that for the money, it's really hard to beat. I mean, I honestly do. If I was to go out and say to you, you keep a car for 100,000 miles and you always get rid of it after 100,000 miles because you choose to, that's fine. But you can have a Kia drive it 100,000 miles and then you throw it away because it doesn't last any more than that. Or you can go pay double and buy a Honda or a Toyota that'll get 200,000 miles, maybe more. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to buy better because nothing is a forever. You need to realize that. And in my mindset, if I get 10 years out of something that's half the price, let's say, then I'm happy because I've saved so much money. And I've also had that comfort of life, which is what this system really is. The system to me is the power goes out, no big deal. My grandkids are here, the power goes out, no big deal. My dog's here and the power goes out and we're not home, no big deal. There's times in life where you start figuring out that you can save money on your electric and have the comforts by having the peace of mind to know that a lot of your loads are run off solar. And I think that this battery ticks all the boxes for me. It may be basic. Now, can you build cheaper? Yes, you can buy cells and build cheaper. But with that, you got to gather everything up. You got to make sure everything, this is plug and play, guys. This is as simple as it gets. I think that it's the perfect mix of quality and cost. And when it comes to budget batteries, I think this one's going to be hard to beat. But you need to make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, because we've got more batteries to test to see which one's going to finally win. I am going to be talking to the companies, and I'm going to see what it's going to cost me to buy multiple batteries, to put them all together, to build an amazing off-grid system in a very small factor. And you guys definitely should subscribe so you can see me build this and test these other batteries. So really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I'm going to go play with this some more because I actually really enjoy pulling loads on this thing just to see what it does and how it handles it. I think I'm going to try something a little bigger as we have a MIG welder that's 110 that likes to drink some juice. So I'm going to go give that a try. You guys are going to go check out one of our other videos, and I'll see you in the next one.